I'm Ryan O'Doud, and you're listening to Ryan's Audiobooks on Issues Magazine YouTube channel. Today we continue with section 1019, in Adam from the Son of Knowledge, by Lex Hixon Nur Al Jerrahi. Circle of Encounter. This poem, originally composed in the beautiful Castilian tongue, is a tribute to the mystical circle dancers of Mexico, the concheros, the people of the conch shell, and to the circling and whirling dervishes all over the globe who represent Islamic tradition. Many of the first persons to receive initiation into the Jerrahi Order in Mexico City were concheros. Some of them learned to take their first steps as infants within the swirling circle of dancers, to the deep rhythm of drum leggings of walnut shells, small guitars and mandolins made from armadillo shells, and the mystic hymns in which Franciscan Christianity and pre-Hispanic wisdom are subtly fused. The conchera mesa of the Niño de Atocha tenderly welcomed the Turkish dervish tradition, which came to them through their sisters and brothers from the north. Circle of Encounter is a hymn of gratitude and praise for this union of two mystical orders from opposite sides of the globe, this universal romance among the lovers of truth in all cultures, who join hands and move in circles of adoration, esoteric wisdom, and mystic union. Certain important principles and secrets of the dervish circle are here set forth. 12. Circle of Encounter, Dervish Ceremony of Divine Remembrance. Night and day, consecrate your being to the divine mysteries, meditating constantly upon divinity, invoking, crying out, praying ceaselessly. This will permit you to enjoy the cosmic dream. From the Codex of Wisdom from the Valley of Mexico. What is paradise? The circles of divine remembrance. The oral tradition of the Prophet Muhammad. Humble lovers of divine love enter the sacred circle with upright mind and spirit purified. This circle of encounter, whirling eternally in a prodigious storm-tossed sea, a profusion of blessings in present time from the mystic saints of all traditions, powerful and living blessings that emanate from the single source, the only one. These dervish dancers are initiated sons and daughters of the mysterious circle. As they advance together along the profound way, their progress is without pause, without end. In this circle of reconciliation, only love for the neighbor prevails. Each person manifests truly and is recognized by the circle as a unique word of truth. Not by bread alone does humankind subsist, but by every word that comes from God. This circle of holy recollection celebrates a spiritual wedding among hearts set sail together upon the ocean of divine light. During this ecstatic voyage, courageous dervish dancers abandon the narrow ship of self and plunge into open radiance. Pictures of the surface world disappear, and pristine creation is revealed as universal harmony, full of correspondences, a secret garden flowering and flourishing, a manifestation of pure presence. Initiates in this circle of union dare to cry with abandon, "Receive us in your arms," and immediately they experience the sacred arrow wound of love. Courageous dervish dancers whirl around the central pole of existence, learning to dispense with themselves and love others completely during both sacred ceremony and daily experience. creation returning into creator, this dynamic circling is the conquest of body, mind, and heart. The victory over separation. This circle of Allah most near speaks the language of divine love, which alone awakens the human spirit. These dervishes are leavening for the bread of humanity. Transmuted by the alchemy of the circle, their bodies become stars on earth, reborn with every breath, their souls a cascade of gratitude. The practitioners of the global dance, the disciples trained in the liberty of love, are forerunners of true humanity. The green branches of their mystic orders bear precious golden fruit, the vast inheritance of humankind. The community of universal dance contains the essential code of truth. This circle of encounter is the rootedness of humanity, this harmonious resonance, the divine conquest of humanity. The inheritors of this ancient circle abide at the refreshing confluence of every sacred lineage, surrounded by every banner, chanting, "Come, let us follow the way," the patient steps of our ancestors along the path of hope and confidence, the long journey of the human spirit. The liberation from anguish, narrowness, and the egocentric battle for survival. This circle is the transformation of our clay into mystical fire. Now the dervish dancer who belongs only to divine love encounters the uncreated essence of the soul, tasting the ease of paradise. Casting overboard the ballast of all worlds, all self-love, the circle becomes open space without any horizons. The goal of the spiritual journey, establishment in Allah. This life-giving circle is no game but the dimension of sheer aliveness. The consciousness that responds to Allah, obeys Allah, salutes Allah, the vocation of loving the beloved. These souls awaken in Allah, sinking deeply from the cry, Allah, 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 that comes forth from the amazement surging in the circle, this illuminated heart of the body of resurrection. O circle that shapes the universe, O circle where the universe submits, O circle of those with fervor and intensity who awaken fully within daily existence, O circle of messengers soothing balm, O circle of divine majesty, O circle pregnant with spiritual gifts, O circle whirling beyond concepts, O abode of those who empty their hearts of heavens and worlds, O circle of the awakened gaze, focused solely upon reality, O circle of divine generosity, divine spontaneity, O circle of the luminous wake, streaming from souls returning to their source, O dervish dancers excellent, excelling, exceptional, O planetary wheel of the lovers of essence, O grand commotion within the universal heart, O wonderful circle of sheepskins on a polished wooden floor, O circle of knowing feet, O circle of life whirling since the beginning, O conscious constellation of atoms empowered by Allah, 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 O perfect reciprocity between beings and the source of being, O unexpected gift, O blessed sleeplessness, O lightning flash of the leap to new spiritual levels, O sacred vestment of light, O expansion of the heart into sublime absorption, O direct and open way, O waterfall of drunkenness, O primal innocence, O permanent place for prayer within the nucleus of awareness, O circle of celestial swiftness, O circle of divine breath, O famous tavern of mystical dreams, O grateful captives of supreme love, humble servants of the supreme cause, O circle of the representatives of Allah, O circle of epistles written by Allah to Allah, O circle of encounter, gather us in your embrace, intensify us, test us, absorb us. That's the end of chapter 12. I will be moving on now. Countenance and Heart of the Sheikh. Composed spontaneously from long lists of rich Spanish words, this unexpected epic poem, manifested as a portrait of my beloved Sheikh, Muzaffar Ashki al-Jerrahi, drawn from unknown depths of my heart through the process of writing in a language unfamiliar to the surface mind. Both his countenance, his beautiful outward form and gracious mode of life, and his heart, the invisible secret recesses of his realization, become accessible through these verses. No photograph or film could achieve this fullness, which can only come through words sent by Allah Most High. This poem contains many unspeakable secrets of passionate mystical love, unfolded by Jalaluddin Rumi in his longing for his beloved Shems, the perpetually rising sun of love. The original Sheikh of Islam is, of course, the noble Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him. Communities of true lovers ever since have gathered around the sheikhs, or mature mystic guides who are rightly called inheritors of the wealth of the Prophet. The sheikh is not a personality but a spiritual principle, one in essence, dazzlingly diverse in manifestation. (13) Countenance and heart of the sheikh. Portrait of a Sufi master. The heart assumes the qualities of the beloved. Rumi. In the bosom of the sacred edifice of humanity abides the secret of spiritual architecture. The keystone of love, the sheikh, noble soul sovereign of mystical union. Always longing for Allah Most High, eternally offering himself to the one reality. The sheikh is surrounded by dervishes captivated by love, his intimate allies in the closest friendship and most elevated ideals. Above the noble pillars of religion, beyond formulas of faith, legends, and allegories, shines the sheikh, example and guide for souls. Pinnacle of knowledge and refinement, subtle model for the mystic way. He essentializes human activity, spiritualizing all phenomena, making the human heart fragrant with the litanies of his breath. The sheikh is full moon of truth and living word of truth, ardent lover of divine peace, adorned by spiritual humility, the mystic poverty that possesses nothing and claims nothing. The sheikh prunes the tree of personal will and tends the nursery of souls, experiencing great love for future generations. Heart reposing in Allah and feet rooted upon the planet, the sheikh is an oasis of the one reality, a transmutation of the ordinary world. Living book of mystic dreams, the sheikh is the diagram of the divine plan. He is a rich vein of gold. He is a golden age. Fully realized, dressed in common cloth, free from the weight of personal will, this enamored one of Allah and leader of humanity soars in ecstasy without the slightest effort, borne up by the divine wind alone. Divine light arises in his heart, overflowing from his entire body. Free from the nightmare of the self-centered world, relieved of self-love by the inscrutable will of Allah, the sheikh falls in love with all conscious beings. By sharing their extensive suffering, he enters the presence of the beloved. The sheikh is the pole star of love, portent that shines far above the narrow streets of the limited world. He is the human soul released into freedom, showing forth the image of divinity that is hidden in humanity, that sacred image never tarnished. The sheikh, clairvoyant seer, uncovers the unsuspected potential of every heart. This excellent emissary of Allah, always adoring Allah, bears news of eternal joy for humankind, the recovery of its conscious unity with the One. Clothed in the white linen of purity, he sits in equanimity upon the stone seat of truth beside the spring of love and the lily of beauty. Accessible to those who go in search of the real, at morning, light, noon, and midnight, he teaches sweet prayers and lucid praises to wise practitioners and beginners on the way, to all those with strong predilection for contemplative practice. Stirring amazement and gratitude in their hearts, the sheikh attracts his loyal friends to the life of perfection, a life more alive than the life of the entire universe. When a physician administers the precise drop of medicine, fever disappears, the sick recover and become strong. When the sheikh presents the nectar of his teaching, which cures the loss of memory, melancholy minds become skylarks, emancipated, flying and singing into the sky of wisdom. The dichotomy between heaven and earth has now disappeared. These liberated souls abide with the sheikh in the fusion of nearness and distance without veils of darkness or veils of light. Free from ambiguity and obscurity, their life is a holy sacrament. His heart, always falling into ecstasy, the sheikh's flourishing existence, is a universal call to prayer, chamber of prayer, light of prayer, and lyrical cadence of prayer. Eyewitness to divine light, the sheikh demonstrates to humanity with great intensity the reality of divine unity, beyond myth, science, and theosophy. He redeems human experience with his spiritual sensibility. He is like an immense choir glorifying God, free from apparent forms, from the apparent ego. Taken captive since childhood by Allah, tested and trained by Allah, the sheikh has made the long journey to the unthinkable goal of union. Convinced totally by Allah, who is the fundamental demonstration shining in every recess of the universe, the sheikh receives intimations of divine power flashing in his heart beyond names and letters. The prowess of this morning star of humanity is his ceaseless proclamation of unity, not simply through sacred hymns, but through every motion of his body. Through every thought, every intention, his very existence is to ponder and profess primordial reality in the present moment, a promising spiritual procedure that has given birth to mystic saints in all the epochs of human history. The sheikh is the rich legacy of divine love, the ancient caravan bearing indescribable wealth, singing birds, camels, love letters from the beloved, and all the other exquisite gifts of Allah to the secret heart of the human being. Self-love manipulates and dominates, propelling the conventional world toward blindness. But when touched by the sheikh, lightning of Allah, this obscuration, this worship of the ego, melts into fathomless ecstasy. The spiritual leader who, with this valor and capacity, transmits the ancient lineage of wisdom, is the true sheikh, the wonderful counselor, the beautiful prototype, the messenger of love. Mature, wise, kind, open, he is the impartial benefactor of humanity. As the eternal discourse of the divine word, this guide becomes head and heart of the mystical body of the universe. Actions are the confirmation of the sheikh. His liberating and renewing vision is totally infused by divine love, by transports of spiritual inebriation. This supreme lover floats lightly in divine presence, immersed in the pulsation of the divine heart, which renders everything nothing with the blinding brilliance of its rays. Here is primal door and final harbor, both way and goal, cocoon and butterfly, supreme enterprise, sublime discovery, the spiral evolution of the soul. Purified by sweet pangs of divine love, clothed by Allah Most High in magnificence and integrity, the sheikh listens only to the voice of the beloved with both lullaby and eloquence, experiencing mysterious quietude in this enchanting divine presence. Because the courageous guide roots totally in Allah, the root of truth, his heart becomes a cluster of grapes plucked by the beloved in a twilight permeated by praise, pervaded by springtime fragrance, punctuated by rushing streams of love. After mystic fusion with his beloved, this vagabond of love, friend of all souls, wanders through the grand prayer hall of creation, the sacred temple of divine manifestation, taking delight solely in the invocation of Allah. The reign of the sheikh is timeless, removed from the fleeting quality of life. The eyes of his intuition have been clarified by perceiving all religions as spokes within one wheel of revelation. This guide abides at the focal point of the universal circle, at the still, calm, silent center. His awareness, empty of vain concern, free from the consciousness of being a subject, is an overflowing vessel of love, a spring of the water of life forever flowing. The sheikh, without desire for recompense, he is praised even by Allah. He passes beyond the limits of creation and miraculously attains divine life. Above worlds of change, above worldliness, such a supreme aspirant becomes an ambassador of reality, an heir to the imperishable wealth of all prophets. Each sheikh is a messenger from Allah bearing unique responsibility. Each sheikh is a sunflower oriented toward the single sun, a pitcher of blessedness to fill the cup of humanity, a kite dancing gracefully in the four winds. Each sheikh incarnates an incandescent destiny, open entirely to the divine decree. The sheikh ceaselessly recalls and realizes the divine attributes in the depth of his being, savoring the tender divine welcome in the supreme paradise of his heart. Realizing that knower and known are one, he concentrates in the most esoteric meditation, the ceaseless reflection upon creation in all its vastness and intricacy, as a clear reflection of the Creator, refreshing and radiant, protean and diverse, essentially lacking nothing. This adept leader and contemplative drinks here and now from the unequaled fountain, in that paradise beyond the heavens, that garden of essence, without hierarchy or redundance. The immanence of Allah as creation is the silent music, that breeze of the present moment. Transported by love's enchantment, eternal guest of the Supreme Beloved, the Sheikh sings melodiously in the untranslatable language of mystery. I know the joy of reclining on the breast of the Beloved, caressing by his shining curls, perfumed with musk, the joy of sharing the mystical supper with the mystical traveler. Voyager beyond abstinence and satisfaction, his only itinerary is a path of universality. Follower of the ancient doctrine of unity, the Sheikh rejoices in the One, breathing the One, merging with the One. His breaths are prayer beads. The sacred plow of contemplative practice cuts through the rich field of his heart, turning over the soil of the mind into the sunlight. Divine force plays through his entire body, which burns like aromatic incense lit by divine light, the giver of life. His mode of being, as living torch of the tradition, transmittable to successive generations, revalues the entire limited world, dissolving the limited perspective, the deception of isolation. The arid life of men, always threatening and threatened with ruin, miraculously becomes green again beneath the gaze of this intuitive gardener. The stream of his daily prayers purifies the planet. The communal body of humanity shines with his ablutions of light. His spiritual attainments empower the novices. The entire universe, with its countless worlds whirling in great homesickness, aspiring only to truth, reverently enters the sacred rite celebrated by the Sheikh, the nocturnal circle of mystic return, the circle of divine urgency like a midnight wind. Profoundly moved by this grand undertaking, protecting angels surround the dervish lover, who asks the Sheikh's permission to become intimate with his circle. This unforgettable immersion of the intellect in angelic jubilation is pure uninitiative gnosis. Is pure unitive gnosis. There exists nothing that is not God. Like waves in a shoreless ocean, the dervish dancers now converge upon the Sheikh, central pole of prophetic light, indispensable sign of truth, unimaginable abundance of love. A global sea of splendor surrounds the Sheikh, roaring with powerful sonority, all present and all penetrating. Allah, Allah, Allah. Green is the shining water of this circle. Green the robe of the Sheikh, silken and flowing, green within green, free from separation. The noble captain and navigator stands like an eagle in the center of the circle, indicating the direction for the mystic crossing. His faithful mariners experience the rupture of the habitual world, the blessed shipwreck of ego. Souls know how to swim in divine light. The Sheikh, submitted servant of the Beloved, never repeats the past but rises fresh from the source, demonstrating with simplicity of heart the principle of mystic priesthood. This humble sovereign, this ecstatic mendicant, married to all lovers of the Supreme Beloved, sacrifices his personal being and is consumed by omnipotent fire, The Lord of Nearness yet remains unscathed, a minaret of ruby among inextinguishable flames in the alchemical furnace of love. The master of the circle is the refuge of the dervishes, deepest desire and salvation of the dervishes. The sheikh is the health and holiness of all humanity. Since ancient times, the sweet salutation of the sheikh, Assalamu alaikum, may peace be upon you, expressing his full participation in divine peace, has cured disciples of spiritual forgetfulness, welcoming them to his mysterious abode, the sacred totality of being. His kiss of welcome is supremely desirable, his right hand the instrument of divine power. His breath, his palms, the soles of his feet are naturally perfumed like sandalwood. The fragrance of his perspiration saturates the circles of dancers with longing. His blood sings La ilaha illallah, the one alone exists, and his heart plunges into the ocean of annihilation. His entire body becomes the honey of love. The mist of doubt and guilt dissipates in the light of his indivisible plenitude. His gentle melodious words sweeten the universe. The sheikh is a nightingale in the rose garden of creation, its feathers shining in the rays of the midnight sunrise. He is a jewel of the mystic East, a golden book of esoteric paintings, a lute resounding with imperishable music. The sheikh, profoundly religious without the religiosity of external form, has been seasoned in the sunlight of the most beloved Muhammad, seal and summit of prophecy. He distributes the single light granted to all prophets sent to all nations during all ages of this ancient planet. The sheikh is the eye through which Allah contemplates his marvelous works. The precious discourse of the guide, presented in simple words or cultivated speech, bears the master key, the secret cipher of unity, the living axiom of unity, which confers wisdom upon the countenance and heart of humanity. Based only upon unparalleled reality, the sheikh becomes truly serene without a trace of vacillation, enjoying only the supreme meaning, the ground of being, the uniquely true. The spiritual aridity of the conventional world, this place of frightful conflicts and crowns of thorns, this prison consisting of the illusory notion of self, comes to an end here and now in the rainy season. The happiness that does not proceed from any limited knowledge, from any limited category of knowledge. Leading and guiding humanity from his station within the dervish circle, benign hands open in perpetual prayer, the sheikh is lifted into the splendor of intercession. The sure indication of a true sheikh, who divinizes the life of his times with the power of his heart, is his similarity to the prophets. Rope-soled sandals of strength, staff of daring, sash of freedom, banner of benevolence, tambourine of praise, sword of equality and impartiality. The mystic guide is known by his total submission to Allah most near, conscious submersion in the ocean of light, ascent toward Allah, and restfulness in Allah. Nomad who wanders the expanse of ecstasy, his beatific vision never obscured by limited conceptuality, the sheikh takes up the poetic word to inspire members of his mystic order. Softly he sings a mysterious elegy, prologue to the final mystery. I hear the sigh and whisper of the beloved. Unloosed hair streams across my pillow. I hear the skylark mad with love, and know the unspeakable subtlety of union on the wedding night of divine delight. The sheikh is an ancient tabernacle in the desert of divine access, place of covenant between humanity and divinity, focus of the spiritual diligence of the people and the spontaneous revelation from Allah, place of extraordinary inward labors and tasks. He is a tank of fresh water for thirsty pilgrims, a sacred pyramid for wise beings of all cultures who wish to be immersed in contemplation. In the transport of wisdom, the sheikh becomes fully absorbed, performing amazing spiritual feats. Dancing with abandon in selfless anonymity, he sings, creation in its totality is the ecstatic loom of one consciousness. All living beings are variegated cloth, woven by a single weaver, the heart's pulse reverent affirmation of unity, is the life-giving rhythm of a single drummer. Systems, titles, customs, and theories are spiderwebs trembling in the tempest of a single love. Inebriating the universe, this hymn of praise, this mystical audition is the marrow of every cosmogonic myth. Thus concludes section 1019 from Adam from the Son of Knowledge by Lex Hixon Nur Al Jerrahi. We will pick up next time with section 1020 in the middle of chapter 13, Countenance and Heart of the Sheikh. I will see you then. Alam.